Welcome to this third video in this series of the sign-in page demo. Now let's continue with our username and password, which are put together in the linear layout. Now let's go and start with this layout by making the layout width take the width of the parent. Now what's the difference between match parent and wrap content? So match parent, we are telling the element, whichever is the element, linear layout, edit text, whatever the element is, image view, we are telling the element to take the size, the width here of the parent. So if we say that the width matches the parent, then we see that the linear layout here highlighted in blue, the width of the linear layout is the parent, which is the whole page. Now if we let's say that the height of the linear layout matches the parent also, so what we'll see is that the height will take the height of the parent minus 25 pixels, and it will start here because the layout itself is below the logo. Now let's go back and keep the height as wrap content. So wrap content means also that the height of the element is the height value of the element is whatever is inside in this element. So let's say the linear layout height here is the height of the username and password combined. So that's what wrap content mean. Whereas match parent means that the height will take the width here will take the whole width of the parent element, which is the page itself, which is the relative layout. So let's continue now and give a little bit of padding to this username and password. So again, we go to the linear layout, we give it some padding value from the left, let's say 25 pixels, and also from the right 25 pixels. Now as we see, when we give padding to a certain element, the element so here if you can see that, for example, the username and password are shifted 25 pixels to the right from the left border. So if we say like the padding left is 125, we can see that the username and the password, which is the content of this layout, is shifted more to the right, 125 pixels. So let's go back to 25 pixels. Okay, now let's go to the username and password texts and make these texts empty, but we have to put some placeholder text, which is the hint here. So the hint here is username, and the hint here is password. Okay, now if we run our application, we can see here that what we have is these two texts. If we tap here, you can see that this is a placeholder, it's not the actual text, it just indicates that here we are inputting the username and here we are inputting the password. Now let's go back here and also give the hint a certain color. So let's say that hint or text color hint equal let's say color white, but it's too strong for the hint, so let's give it a certain color that is a bit like gray, a gray color. So let's define a gray color here in the colors file. Let's add a new color. The color name is color gray. And let's give it a value of AAA. So this is a gray color, as we see. Let's go back here and give the gray color to the text, to the placeholder. It's a better color than white because it is a placeholder. So color gray here too. Oh, so this is the hint color. Now if we run our application, we can see that the placeholders are gray but the text itself is white, which is better. Okay, now let's make the page look, the username and password fields look better also. Let's add some elements and let's add an image view next to the username and password. So because we want at the end to make it appear like this. Actually, let's make them white as the design suggests, or let's keep them gray, it's better. Now let's add an image view here. So we want to add an image view next to the username itself and an image view next to the password itself. So these images are, if we go to the JPEGs folder, these are the logos of username and password. So first let's copy and paste these elements to Android Studio drawable folder, show in Explorer. So this is the drawable folder and let's put the elements here. Now what we want to do is add the username logo next to username, but we want them to appear together on the same line. So the issue here is that username and the logo have to be themselves in one linear layout, and the same for password and logo, they have to be themselves in one linear layout. So what we want to do is we want to embed username itself in a linear layout, and we want to embed the password itself in a linear layout. So let's create a linear layout here. Match parent, and the height will wrap content. So this linear layout will contain the text itself. So this text is the username. So what we did here is we wrapped this text, which is the input text, inside a linear layout. Why? Because we want to also add to this linear layout another element, which is the image view itself, which is the logo of the username. Let's add an image view here. So let's give it a certain width and height, 25, and the height is 25. So So this is an image view. Now let's add the source of the image, which is the image file. So the source is drawable. What is the name of the file? So it's drawable user. You can find it here. Now we can find the logo here, and let's do the same for password. Let's add the password logo here also. First, what we want to do is we want also to embed the input text of the password inside a linear layout. So let's give the width as match parent and the height as wrap content, and we want to cut this closing tag and put it here, because we want the linear layout, as we said, to wrap the password itself. So let's add inside this linear layout, let's add the image view itself. So image view, also let's give it the same width and height as the previous one, which is 25 dp. And the source of the image is drawable password, which is here. Now let's close, and actually this image should be put before the text itself. Okay, so what we have now, we have an image and a text here inside this linear layout, and an image and a text here inside this linear layout. So now the next step, in the next video, we will give some better positions to these images, and we will get rid of these lines, and we will put something better instead of these black lines. We will have a better style for username and password. So see you in the next video.